go. But it continues.
Just a little dot in the gap.
Continuing another exciting journey. Well, hello there. It's another Friday afternoon. Sitting on the edge with Courtney Wallace. TheEdgeOnAir.com. Now, if you're familiar with the Jamaican football, or soccer, if you prefer, then you would understand why we're bouncing to this beat and why we kick off with this song. It's called Rise Up. Theme song for Jamaica's Reggae Boys. From the historic birth to the World Cup 1998. Since then, it's been the theme song for this team. Not an easy road. We're not afraid of roadblocks. Come on now. We're Jamaicans. Black, green, and gold. Thank you for joining me. And if you're on the live stream, you look inside the studios and you will see that the black, green, and gold is represented. Jamaica is in town. You better believe that. And I want to say thanks to my brothers, Earl and Ian, for answering the call. Sitting in on the edge on this here Friday afternoon. Another fun Friday. Courtney Wallace with you.
Just a little dot in the galaxy. Courtney, you a star. That's the vibe I can feel. Yo, Courtney Wallace, you don't know you're the boss, you know. Keith Campbell said that. You're listening to Reggae on the Edge. Keep it real, Rasta youth. Send up there.
Thank you very much, Keith Campbell. Really appreciate that. But even more so, I really do appreciate these brothers for taking time out of a busy schedule to be with me this afternoon on Sitting on the Edge. Like I said, I'm Courtney Wallace, and this is TheEdgeOnAir.com. Without further ado, let me make my introductions. I have two gentlemen in the studio with me, two gentlemen of very, very high esteem, and two gentlemen that I have nothing but time, love, and respect for. And like I said, I'm very, very appreciative of them taking time out to be with me this afternoon. First up, we have Mr. Earl Bailey. They call him the Bald Eagle. If you look at him, you can see why. You know, the bald part, that is pretty much obvious. As to why he's an eagle, that's because he soars, man. He's the press officer with the Jamaican national soccer team. And they're now domiciled in Chicago. Been here since Thursday because they have a big assignment coming up on Sunday at the Copa America Centenario, a special edition of the world's oldest soccer tournament. And they open on Sunday at Soldier Field against Venezuela. Now, Mr. Bailey is the PR officer for the team. And I must say this, that if ever I get the chance to be PR officer for anything, anywhere, anytime, I can tell you right now, Earl, I'll be taking pages out of your book. Matter of fact, I'll take the entire book. And I'm telling you to your face so that when it happens, you'd have already known it.
I appreciate it, man.
Okay, all right, great. So thanks for coming, man. Welcome.
It's my pleasure. Of course, I've never been to Chicago before, but I've heard so much about this wonderful city. Of course, Obama and Hillary Clinton and the rest of them. And I'm just happy to be here. The team, we are quite happy. We have been treated well so far, and we look forward to having a very good game against Venezuela on Sunday.
And not only that, I think you guys are very purposeful in the time that you visit, because you choose to visit when we basically have tropical weather.
Yeah, did we bring the weather?
You might have, because I've been calling for it. All right, and beside Mr. Bailey, we have another gentleman of very, very high esteem, Mr. Ian Burnett. They call him Beanie, and just now I introduced him to Kelly, and she pretty much was trying to figure out why they would call him Beanie. And Earl was explaining that Beanie in Jamaica. What did you say about it, Earl?
Beanie in Jamaica it's somebody who is not big and massive and so forth, but at the same time, this guy, although he's not big and massive, mentally, he's great. A big, anything you want to call it in terms of height and length and whatever you want to call it, this is the man right here. I've been working with him for years. Great guy. Forget about the name. It's what's in his head. That's the important thing. That's Beanie.
And if anybody is familiar with the Jamaican music scene, they might be wondering if it is that he is in music, because he could easily be Beanie Man, yeah?
That too.
Yeah, but you mentioned, a man of great stature in terms of, professionally, and he is the sports editor for the Jamaica Observer newspaper back in Jamaica. Beanie, welcome.
Thanks, man. Good to be here.
And I will also point this out, that Beanie at some point in time was like my boss of sorts, because I used to do some writing for the Observer. I don't know why. I don't know why it stopped. I'll probably take him to task. Know that we're on air. It's a very good time to, put it to him, why did it? But hey.
Another time.
There's a time and a place for everything.
I agree. But, it is no love lost. It was a pleasure writing for the Observer. Covered a bit of boxing for the newspaper, and that is something that goes on my resume, because I can't remember a time when I sent in an article and Beanie said, "No, sir, not this." Very good sports editor, and of course the Observer. And I'm not saying this because he's here. It's like my favorite Jamaican newspaper. Really love the work that is done at the Observer. But also Beanie has also been like a staple as a journalist with the Reggae Boys. I mean, you travel with them all over the world.
I've been fortunate enough to do that for what, more than 20 years.
Wow.
Part and parcel of the job.
Wow. And
nothing special about me, just lucky to be here.
You know what? Since you're going to go down that road, let me start this again. You always rise into the occasion, man. Let the song inspire you. Rise up. Come on, Beanie. Don't be too modest, man. This is the edge. You don't need to be modest. But the team is here in Chicago. First of all, let's start from, let's say we go back a week, because I was here promoting the game last week when they played Chile, which is number 3 ranked in the world. Mm-hmm. They are the current Copa America champions.
Yes.
Yeah?
Defending champions.
Defending champions. And Jamaica went down to Chile and beat them.
Yep.
And beat them.
Beanie was there, so.
Well, I'll throw it up. One of you give me your synopsis of the. Tell us about the game. Was it that good a game? Was it that it was a weak Chile side, or was it just a good Jamaica team that ran out on them?
All of the above. First of all, Chile had everybody, with the exception of Claudia Bravo, their captain, who is the goalkeeper for Barcelona, and Arturo Vidal, who plays for Juventus. No, Bayern Munich. Bravo has some issues with his kid doing some medical stuff. He might not even be at the Copa. But that's aside. Outside of those two people, they were at full strength. And one needs to remember that this game was a send-off party of sorts for the Copa champions going into the Copa Centenario. So we were merely there as lambs to the slaughter, really.
And we crashed the party.
We crashed the party, nice. They were stunned. The first half, in particular, we got the first goal, I believe, from memory. 32nd minute, thereabouts.
That was Devar Orgel, right?
No, the first goal was Clayton Donaldson. But prior to that, we had missed 2 glaring chances from inside, just outside the 6-yard box, And just reflecting, because we were at COPA there last year, Earl, when Chile won it for the first time, and not even Argentina was able to open them up as much as we did in the first. I was a bit surprised, you know, and we got the go-ahead goal, which was quite deserving. They had a few shots here and there, but nothing really to, you know. Second half, they came out determined, very, very determined. They were marauding, but we stood firm and got an insurance goal, you know. I mean, it put it this way, Earl and I, having been around this team for a number of years, some weird places, and to get our butts whipped, it's good sometimes to experience the other side of it, you know. And I mean, I was in my colors. I was the only journalist in the stand. The facilities, what, I think 22,000, give or take, about 20 were there. And I mean, it was a proud moment. Right. It was a friendly, but it's more than that. It's the first time a Jamaican team was ever winning a game in South America, you know, against the current South American champions. It was reflected too in the movements in the last FIFA rankings.
Right, yes. We are up to 46, yeah. 9 places up.
I mean,
and they are down because of the loss. They are down to number 5.
Wow.
You know, so I mean, it can only be a win-win situation from here for us to gain some confidence going a huge tournament like this and, you know, build on it.
Right. But gentlemen, I remember last year that, I mean, I was over the moon when we qualified in 1998. And, you know, between then and now, there have been some highs and some lows. Yeah?
Very lows, too.
But last year, I think probably was my proudest year as a Jamaican in terms of our soccer, because of what we did at the Copa America. I mean, I was just having a chat with Lance Whitaker, another of our esteemed journalists from Jamaica, and I was saying that, you know, last year it was just unbelievable. We never made it from the first round of the Copa, but to play South American teams, top South American teams, and to only lose by a goal to nil, and not because they weren't trying. I mean, Earl, that to me was monumental.
Absolutely. I mean, at least 2 of those games, with a little bit more luck, we could have drawn the games. I thought against Paraguay, certainly, when we gave up that crazy goal, and that's one. It could have been 0-0. And certainly against Argentina as well. We had them on
all
the ropes
teams.
for about 15 minutes near the end. And they had to hold on near the end. So, given that, we're optimistic about what could happen in this one. We're hoping that this time around, they'll play a little better, get the goals, maybe luck is on our side, and we'll get to the next round.
All right, I don't want to jump to this one just yet, because coming out of Copa, you know, a lot of people they played basically doubtful Thomases. And, you know, people said it was just luck. I can't see how you can hold 3 top South American teams to 1-0 losses, and it's luck. It's not, especially if you watch the games. But then we came to the US for the Gold Cup. And I remember that Saturday afternoon, I was in Chicago, and I was on Navy Pier, and I went into this restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, and the match against Canada was up. And I remember it was crowded, and at the end of the game, everybody knew where I was from and who I was cheering for, and those who didn't know there was soccer on the TV, they knew then, and they knew the result, because to see what we did to Canada, the fight, the courage was, I mean, it's kind of hard to describe when you love your country and your colors and soccer as much.
Yeah, and I cover many sports, as you know. But football brings out something in you. There's a passion that it brings out in you. Where some people say you will kill for it. Some fans will kill for it, and some will die for it as well. And that's a passion that you get. I mean, when you see Jamaica play, especially when you're here now, and you're in the game. For the 90 minutes, it's like you're on the field. I mean, it's a lot of work mentally just being there. And when they win, it's ecstatic, man.
Yeah, and then we made it to the final against Mexico, and I still maintain, Beanie, that result could have been way different and much more in our favor.
Like in politics, you know, timing is everything. If you recall that game, I think it was Dawkins who had missed a sitter early in the game from inside the box. You know, to have gone 1-0 up, anything could have happened.
Exactly.
It could have had a negative impact on the Mexicans.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, they were always favorites.
Yeah.
But football, as we know,
And
look at Leicester City.
they knew coming in that Jamaica was not going to be any pushover based on the
pushover.
tournament we've been.
But
we've
you
had.
know, you have to take your chances when you get them, you know, and ride on it.
Yeah, and
in
we-
sport you need a little bit of luck.
Yeah.
Earl mentioned it a while ago. You need a little bit of luck,
Mhm.
you know, and when you ride it, nobody can complain.
True. And then what happened in the Mexico game? So here it is. You miss a sitter. You miss an opportunity to take basically control of the game, and then you make mistakes at the back,
Yeah.
and they take advantage.
it's just flipping.
and then the tide swings against you, and it is
Downhill.
absolutely
Downhill
uphill
from there, right.
for you to for you to get it back.
That's it. That's sport.
Yeah.
You know, seize your moments.
Yeah.
Seize your moments.
All right, gentlemen. We're gonna, like I said, it's pretty much a music show, but there's no way that you could be here and I don't have you on here and talk some soccer. So we're gonna roll into some music, and then we'll be back to the discussion. We're talking soccer today. Jamaica's Reggae Boys in town for the Copa America Centenario.
It's Friday.
Thank God it's Friday.
Time to party.
Let's party!
TheEdgeOnAir.com.
Wallace rock you ready, make you ready, you go some. He make you go some. When he rock you ready. Yeah, you know this is Guinea Pepper, the saga while we're representing for Courtney Wallace on the edge. Yeah, man.
And one other thing that we do in Jamaica well, apart from playing soccer, is that we like to party, especially when it comes to the weekend. Am I right, gentlemen?
Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to kick this one off. It's called Baseline by the man Vision.
What a nice place to be, Jamaica, the place where the people them party non-stop. Oh gosh, watch the people them a dance in the street. Every man a hold a joy, a plate a liquor them feet. Every man a hold the peace and a shot na beat. Man off you run from police. Yeah, what a vibes, the place feel nice. Everybody love it, everybody alright. Them girls then the white give them some Smirnoff Ice. I want to know one of them tonight. Watch the people them a move to the baseline, and the girls them a move them waistline. Sip a Guinness and a Red Bull same time. Money fi spend, we no come mess up fi waste time. Watch the elder them a move to the baseline, and the girls them a move them waistline. Sip a Guinness and a Red Bull same time. Money fi spend, we no come mess up fi waste time. Select a pull it up, make the girls and full it up. Me a party till me buck, put some liquor in my cup. Bassy, light up the chalice, make me take a couple puff. Cause the girls I'm looking enough, and them ever looking. Boy man out and clean, woman from every scheme. A clocks man a beat, body heel back no lean. Me straight like pan seam, silent like Mr. Bean. Me Rasta man style, make the girls them a run in. Them a move to the baseline, and the girls them a move them waistline. Sip a Guinness and a Red Bull same time. Money fi spend, we no come mess up fi waste time. Watch the elder them a move to the baseline, and the girls them a move them waistline. Sip a Guinness and a Red Bull same time. Money fi spend, we no come mess up fi waste time. And me a share a par, manly no de far, nanny me no de far, queen in a me car. And me and Franklin face just buy out the bar. Them swarm me like a beast because them know say man a star. Them smell me cologne from a mile. Them love me pattern and my style. Me stepping out the dance and pretty girls a give me smile. Rasta shirt me got no style, woman now watch me like a child. Locks clean and rub down with baby oil. The people them a move to the baseline, and the girls them a move them waistline. Sip a Guinness and a Red Bull same time. Money fi spend, we no come mess up fi waste time. Watch the elder them a move to the baseline, and the girls them a move them waistline. Sip a Guinness and a Red Bull same time. Money fi spend, we no come mess up fi waste time. Watch the people them a dance in the street. Every man a hold a joy, a crate a liquor them feet. Every man a hold the peace and a shot na beat. Man off you run from police. Yeah, what a vibe.
Back in the days when me daddy used to party, not touch the street without the money and him lady. And him tell me exactly what used to want. Whole place rum from the music turn on. Nowadays it look like everybody crazy. Producers, artists and musicians them lazy. It look like them lose it, and I chat about them have it down. But if it now move me, how the bingy man a go move? If it now groove me, all my empress a go groove. If it now move me, always line a go move. When the producers them a sleep and man a sing off key, and I'm still a send the music around. Look like them lose it. Where is that authentic feeling? When Gregory and Delroy and Dennis used to sing, oh what a feeling, oh what a joy they used to bring. But suddenly everything has changed. Seems like they have rearranged. Cause it now move me, so the bingy man a go move. If it now groove me, all my embrace a go groove. If it now move me, how you slide a go move. When engineers them a sleep and man a sing off key, I'm still a send the music along.
Indeed, moving you on a Friday afternoon. Roots rockin' reggae on your box. As we say, welcome to the Reggae Boys in town. Hanging out with my friends and fellow journalists Earl Bailey and Ian Burnett.
Flash it in a rubber style. If it now move me, how the bingy man a go move. If it now groove me,
Venezuela, watch out.
press a go groove. If it now move me,
The Reggae Boys are out to move you
always right a go move.
out of their way
Engineers them must sweep and
on Sunday.
and still I send the music along. Them spend half of the cash in my pocket. Feel nice, so the singer now watch it. Feel right, everyone nice. Every face have a smile. If it now move me, how the bingy man a go move. If it now groove me, how empress a go groove. If it now move me.
My name is Chris Labosco, and I do play-by-play for minor league hockey. It was while I was at the Illinois Media School that I got my first opportunity to do actual play-by-play in my first week of class. Through my time in class, I was able to improve as a broadcaster by learning how to use different equipment, how to set up for a remote broadcast, and how to prepare for each and every game that I would call. I even found an internship doing play-by-play for minor league baseball before graduating. If I never went to the Illinois Media School, I never would have found my passion.
I couldn't have said it better myself. This is Jonathan Hood, instructor at the Illinois Media School, formerly Illinois Center for Broadcasting. So many reasons for you to consider Illinois Media School: financial aid for those who qualify, real-world hands-on experience, internships, and so much more. Don't just take my word for it. Set up a tour at one of the 2 Chicagoland locations. Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports to learn more. That's beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
Hi, this is Paul McCartney on behalf of RAD. If you're drinking, you can't drive my car or any car. And remember, don't drink and drive. It's just not worth it.
But you can do something in between. Baby, you can drive my car.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
We play the greatest music you've never heard every day. Fridays are just cooler. TheEdgeOnAir.com. The hits of the future play here. The Edge.
Here I come. Open sesame. Here comes Rastaman. Greetings I bring from Jah to all ragamuffin.
Yes, indeed. Join me, Courtney Wallace, for Sitting on the Edge, a tropical mix of reggae and R&B, spiced with anecdotes from the islands. Sitting on the Edge, Mondays and Fridays, 2 to 4 p.m., right here on theedge.com.
Everyone is gonna love this. You'll never forget this. I'm like a lion in the morning when you rises.
All right, so here we go again. More music. Did I say reggae music? But then you already know. Thanks for joining me. Streaming live on theedgeoneer.com. Once you get on and look inside the studios, you will see two distinguished gentlemen. And they're wearing the colors of Jamaica. Black, green, and gold. Alright, gentlemen. So here we are now. We did well at the Gold Cup. Then it was on to World Cup qualifying. And again, it seems as if things are heading south. We're not doing as well as we thought we would have been, especially coming off the high of COPA and the Gold Cup. What happened, Beanie?
Well, from my perspective, it's just a matter of rhythm. Look at it. Going into the COPA last year, there was I think a 1 week period where you practice, prepare, get back in rhythm. Football is all about chemistry. That's team sport. So I don't think it's anything unique to us. When you get to the World Cup qualifiers, you're talking about a 1 game or a 2 game back to back. So you get players in 3 days before the game. They come in today, they can train hard today. So you have one good, decent training session and it's on the field. It's haphazard, it's disjointed. The chemistry not there. As an example, look at Holland. They were third at the World Cup in 2014, yet they failed to qualify 2015 for 2016 Euros. That's football. You need to get back the rhythm. So this is why this Copa Centenario is such a good move in terms of qualifying for it. Hopefully you can get that rhythm going again, because they would have spent 3 weeks together minimum. So it's key. For me, it's just simple. It's nothing unique to us as Jamaica, but it's just football generally. Yeah. You have to get that rhythm.
Right. And Earl, you concur?
Yes, to an extent, but I would just want to add that for the last 4 or 5 years, we've been playing a lot of games away from home, and we're getting good results away from home. And last week was a culmination, actually. I mean, when you beat Chile in their backyard, we have done really, really well. Last year we beat USA here in the US, and we have done so over the last 4 or 5 years. We have gotten good results, but because we have been playing most of the friendly games away, I would think, and maybe half of these guys are not really familiar, I think, with playing much in Jamaica at the National Stadium. And I think we need, from my perspective, I think we need to play some more friendly games at home so that they can be more acclimatized to the National Stadium, to the fans at home, and probably then we can get some better results at home.
But I remember last year, I think it was, was it at the COPA? I think it was at the COPA that our president, Captain Horace Burrell, and I have to segue here, Earl, can you give us an update on Captain Horace Burrell? We got a press release earlier this week that he fell ill last week. I'm taking that was in Florida, and it was a very terse, I think, Beanie, a very terse and very sparsely worded press release that I personally have a problem with those kind of releases, because here it is, Captain Burrell is no ordinary man among Jamaicans, and in this time of a heightened football fever, if it was a press release that had something quote unquote positive or something the JFF wanted to get out, we'd have probably a 2-page release. But then with our president being ill, to get less than a paragraph, I think is a disservice to the football loving public and to us journalists who have always stuck with the program. Earl, any word you can give us on Captain?
Not much more than what you would have gotten, to be honest with you, because we have been up here as well. He did not join the camp. When I came up on Sunday, last week Sunday, and Sunday gone. And he did not join with us. I hadn't seen him at all. I heard about the release just like maybe the same time you got it, the same time I would have gotten it as well. He's doing some tests. I think he was the one that determined, the length of the release, because they would have to, and he's doing a lot of tests now, and I'm sure when the results come from those tests, he will make it public. But it's a medical situation, and sometimes people want their medical situation to be private, and that is what happened, I think. But I think as soon as the results come and he knows what's happening with him, and he's out of the waters, I think he'll send a longer release and maybe even have a press conference or something.
Right, and that we would appreciate, because while we don't necessarily need the details being, but
right.
I'm sure especially the fans out there, people who love the captain, because we have to give him his due. He has done monumental service to Jamaica's soccer. He has taken it from virtual obscurity to know where we can get friendlies against Chile, and we can be playing the Copa Centenario.
Well, for me, my reading of the situation, I last spoke with Captain, I think, shortly after Wes and Leicester confirmed their victory in the BPL, and I remember he said to me, I'm under the weather. I think it was the same day, Earl, when we had the local Premier League presentation ceremony.
Right.
That evening I spoke with him and said, he wasn't feeling well, but he was still going to the award ceremony. He was coughing, got a quote from him, to talk about Wes and what it means to Jamaican football and that kind of thing. He wasn't in Chile, obviously. I remember asking, because Captain is ever present.
Right. Especially a big game like that.
He wasn't there, and I was told that he's doing some stuff and, no details. We got nothing more than what you had, that the release was there. So my reading is that it's very, very early. It's preliminary.
Okay.
And Captain, a very, very proud man. And it will be foolhardy.
Yeah.
Anybody, who is going to be leading that PR team would want to be going out there for people to be speculating.
Right.
So if you don't have details, it's it's best to keep it. Yeah, we would like to know.
Right.
But
right,
probably the truth is they don't know yet.
Okay.
Okay. And as I said before, it's then that I recalled. Yeah, but when I spoke with him last, he said to me that he wasn't feeling well. And since then people have been talking. Yeah, he wasn't looking too well and that kind of thing. So. We just have to hope that it's nothing too serious. But hey, time will tell.
And think about it with Captain, I've never seen him ill before.
Well, and that's the thing.
Years and years. He has never missed any public affair. He has never missed a team going abroad. He has never missed functions because of illnesses and so forth.
Right. So, and he certainly won't be here for this game on Sunday.
Right. So let's hope that everything is okay. But I think it is his wish that it's kept undercover right now, and then hopefully when he knows what's happening with him and so forth, he'll make it a little bit public. But right now, we have to basically
and respect his wishes.
Of course, we have to respect those wishes. And like you say, it's medical, so that's quite fine too. And for those of you listening in who are not sure what's happening here, Captain Horace Burrell, a former army man in Jamaica, took over Jamaica's football somewhere in the early 90s. And he has done some great work, not culminating, but the peak of it was qualifying for the 1998 World Cup in France for the first time. And since then, Jamaica has been basically a staple and a fixture on the world football stage, results aside and all of that, because winning does not absorb everything rather, but as long as you're there, it's always a good thing. There are many countries that would love to be where we are now, and we pay homage to the captain. I was saying before we segue to that, Earl, that Captain did say last year that the chances of us getting friendlies, especially big friendlies, because you know how the Jamaican public is, I mean, they'll very much pick and choose which match they will pay to go to.
And that's one of the reasons why there are not many friendlies in Jamaica. Because when you bring a small team to Jamaica, quote unquote small team to Jamaica, the fans don't turn out. And the federation loses money that way because you have to pay everything. You have to pay in foreign currency to get these teams to Jamaica.
Right.
So if the crowd don't turn out, then the federation ends up losing
Lost
money.
venture.
So when they play abroad, there's no losing because
Right.
you go there, you collect, you pay the players, and then there's a small to get back to the federation.
Right.
So that has been happening now for the last 4 or 5 years, and so.
But having said that,
Yes.
it's a thin line.
Yes.
Because Earl alluded to it earlier. You want the players to be familiar with their home turf.
Yes.
So that's why it's home turf anyway, but...
And one remember during the campaign to the 98 World Cup, one remember the famous office. It was a fortress.
Yes.
I mean, no matter which team it was, they knew that once they come to the office, they're in for a fight.
Difficulty.
Right.
Yeah, and
Many big teams were beaten right to the office.
exactly,
Right? Yeah.
exactly. And I remember when that was broken, I think by Mexico, it was basically gloom over Jamaica that we lost that unbeaten tag. But yeah, it's important for you to play games at home, as you said, Earl. It is extremely important. But anyway, we're here now. Earl, speak to us first about Wes Morgan. He's due in today. I understand that he was supposed to have come in earlier. I mean, I saw Bobby Smith when I went to the hotel. He apparently is coming in. Well, actually, he was coming in when I got there and he was saying that Wes is on a different coming on a different flight.
Different flight. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you missed the
So
flight.
you may have missed the first flight.
Might have been.
All right.
But I mean, I need to speak about Wes, and I'm itching to speak about him. Do you both think that Wes will be able to give 100% at this tournament? And I say this because of one reason. Wes has been going non-stop at full tilt for both Jamaica and Leicester for somewhere in the region of 2 years. Non-stop. Has played 90 minutes for Leicester. I mean, just their fairy tale run alone in the EPL is energy sapping. And he captained that team. I mean, he was stout in defense. He even scored. Do you figure, gentlemen, that he will still have it to give of himself in this tournament and still be ready? I mean, with a view, of course, to the EPL, which is basically just down the road after this tournament.
I think so. He has been out of football now for almost a month, Beanie.
Give or take.
Give or take a month. Mentally, he has been out for at least a month because the day that Chelsea drew with Tottenham and when they won the title, that was when the mental part of it actually relaxed.
They could exhale. Yeah.
They could exhale at that time. So there were 2 games after that, but then those games were not here, not there.
Cosmetic.
Exactly. So he has been out now for I think a month. I spoke with him. I texted him last week, as a matter of fact, because I was trying to get a couple of interviews with him, and he said that for the last couple of weeks he has been just relaxing and with the family, no football. He didn't want to come to the camp. I mean, he asked to be excused from the camp actually in Florida and to meet the team here. I think the rest would have done him really, really well. Let's just see if he could play in the first game. But I think after a few days of practice, a few days of work, he'll be back to himself. Just to tell the public that he was voted in the team of the year, the Premier League team of the year, and he was also ranked as the number 3 defender in England as well. So this is a guy who has done fantastic work in the BPL, and right now he's a global celebrity. When we were in Florida at the airport, there were people coming over just asking for him, wanting to take pictures with him. The Guatemalan team, members of the Guatemalan team came over asking for him, wanting to take a picture with the man. So when he comes, even if he can't play on Sunday, I think he's going to play because he's that tough. But I'm sure he'll contribute to the Copa Centenario in some way.
For me, just the character of the man. Earl can tell you, these guys, even when they're training on the pitch in the evenings, there's a morning gym session. That's routine. So if he's not 100% fit, what he's going to give, you can't question, because that's their character. And furthermore, we're talking about the Copa Centenario.
Big tournament.
This is
big
huge.
Tournament. Yep. Yeah, yeah.
As much as he's the captain of the winning BPL team, this is a huge showcase for him.
Right.
You know.
And players live for tournaments like this.
If you remember last year, he had asked to be released for the Nicaraguan game.
Yeah.
The double back home and away to get us into the World Cup qualifiers, precisely for the same reasons, because he had gone 2 tournaments in the summer and then the Premiership, you know. So I have no doubt. Having said that, somebody pinched me just a couple of days ago to say the coach was excited, you know. He said to himself, yo, I finally feel like a coach again.
Wow.
Because I have stars on my bench now.
Wow.
You know.
Yeah.
So Taylor, Jermaine Taylor, and Mariappa played very, very well as a central pair against Chile.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and sometimes they say if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Don't fix it, yeah.
But we're talking about a West Morgan.
Of course,
you
of
know?
course.
So, I mean, you can only smile.
Yeah.
If he's not 100% and the coach decides to rest him,
that's
not
fine.
a big deal, because the quality is there.
Right.
And that's what we want to see.
Right. But one of my favorite players will be out, Earl Dawkins. I really, really like that player. I mean, you know, I like to see spirited players. I like to see players with the fight. I like to see players with the speed, just not afraid of taking on the opposition. But he's out with a groin injury. I would ask, how much will the team miss him? But I'm sure you'll probably answer me with that Joel Grant, his replacements, scored against Chile.
Absolutely. So I don't think there's a major gap in terms of quality between Joel Grant and Simon Dawkins, honestly. So I don't think we miss him that much. Hello, Simon. You know what I mean? I know he's a very, very good player, but I think Joel will fit in well for him. And there are others as well who will play. There's Clayton Donaldson, who very, very good player as well. Of course, there's Giles Barnes, who other people will know, and a couple of others. So although we miss Simon, because he's a really, really good guy, he scored that fantastic goal that got us to this point.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, because he scored against Nicaragua, we wouldn't be talking. We wouldn't be here.
Exactly.
But we'll be talking about in the World Cup situation.
Mm-hmm.
So we hope Simon recovers quickly and he can get back to his club and eventually play for Jamaica in September.
Well, what I can tell you, I know that he's really, really gutted.
Yes.
He is gutted. He never had the best of Copas last year, or even the Gold Cup. You know, as you know, Earl was going through some difficulties.
Even the World Cup. So.
Yeah, but he was going through some difficulties because he lost his mom earlier last year, and she was dear to him, you know.
Right.
She actually took him to Jamaica to ensure that he played for Jamaica.
Right.
You know, so he was down mentally, and you know, once you're down mentally, oftentimes it reflects on the field.
On the field, right.
So he was really looking forward to making amends, so to speak, at this tournament, you know. Unfortunately, it's a long-standing problem. He re-aggravated the injury against LA Galaxy, 2 Sundays ago.
Right,
you know, and came back to the camp in Florida. I remember I was actually in the room when he was doing his pre-competition medical on Tuesday or Wednesday, one of those days. I think it's Tuesday or Wednesday, you know, and you know he was wincing.
Yes.
With some of the tests, you know.
Right.
But unfortunately, you know.
And we know what the grind is. I mean, you could be walking, walking well without pain, and what the next step? It's agony.
It breaks down. Yeah.
Because he was part. You know, he started in the friendly game, training game against Boca Raton on Monday, and he was pulled out after 20 minutes.
Right.
And by then he had set up 2 glaring chances. In fact, I think he was the person responsible for the first goal, or he had come out before. But he had set up 2 nice chances, you know.
Right.
So he would have been an asset, no doubt about me, for me, because what he brings to the table, he has that level of skill that some of the other players don't have right now, you know. And if he's on his A game,
he's hard to
contain.
It's one of the reasons why I like him. But I mean, having said all of that, though, we still have a good unit put together, Earl.
Oh yes. It's a similar unit to what we took to the Copa last year and World Cup. We have more local-based players involved now. I think there are 6 local-based players involved. But the group, the core of the team is the same thing that went to the Copa and the same that went to the Gold Cup. So we can expect a good performance.
Yeah.
And furthermore, the coaches of such, because teams tend to display the coach's philosophy. And this German coach, he's all about. He's not into the one-man thing. He's all about teamwork.
Team.
So
well, that's German philosophy, which is why I love the German football.
It's changing now with individual ability and quality. Yeah. But he likes the team.
That's why they're not doing very well. They've lost about 3 games straight.
But they're the last world champion. But he likes the teamwork. The team ethic.
Right.
And in fact, when I spoke with him after the Chile game, he said the result was due to primarily because the team went back to their core value, which is one for all for one, just like they did at Copa and Gold Cup last year, and he had asked them to get back to that level, get back to that way of thinking.
All right.
It worked. Yeah.
All right. Well, if it seems like we're packing in a whole lot of talk in the program, is because the gentlemen have to get back to the camp within an hour, which gives us another 10 minutes to get them out of here. So let's now look towards Sunday's game, Venezuela. What can we expect from this Venezuela team?
Well, I saw a bit of them on Wednesday night. They played Guatemala at Lockhart Stadium. So I know a couple of members of the technical staff went there to have a look at them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They have a number of big boys. There is Rondon, who plays for West Bromwich Albion. Very good player, physical, and he's good on his feet. I didn't see Arango. I'm not sure if he's in the squad. I haven't looked at the squad, but we played him a couple of years ago in Montego Bay. We beat them 2-1 or something. But that's a pass. They're a very good team. They're one of the emerging teams. They were always a Cinderella team in South America, but they're emerging. They're getting better and better. We can't for 1 second write them off. Right. It's not going to be an easy game.
Well, I think that the team that played in Montego Bay, if that team turns up, we should be all right, Earl. What do you think? Because like I said,
which game we talking about?
We played them the last time we played them. Was it back-to-back friendlies? Was it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we played them back-to-back.
And
some of the top players weren't there in Montego Bay. People like Thomas Rincon, captain, who plays in Syria, in Syria in Italy, and a couple of others. But it's a solid team. When you go to South America might tell you that Venezuela is a minimum because they are yet to qualify for the World Cup.
Right.
But we can't take them for granted here. Right. We do have good players who can hurt us if we lose concentration.
But all it takes. I think that Jamaica opened up the world's eyes when it comes on to soccer, football, with that 94 to 98 campaign. Where here comes a no-name team, put on a brilliant marketing campaign, won, and then a brilliant footballing campaign, which, while it wasn't the best looking football out there, it was very efficient, and it got the job done. And I think once that happened, then just about everybody started to believe that, yes, they too have a place on the world stage. And we saw a number of countries are stepping up their game just like that, to the point where some teams at Jamaica would say, okay, we can write down 3 points. All of a sudden, no, we can't get a point off of them.
Yeah, that's a fact. And we even seen it in the English Premier League now with Leicester.
There you go, Cinderella team.
Cinderella team, a team that should have been relegated according to the experts. Went on to
lose just 3 games for the entire season.
Exactly. So
by 10 points.
The gap between the haves and the have-nots in football is not really wide. The quality is there. Yeah. So we can't put anybody down.
I remember when Chelsea, what's his name, Abramovich, bought Chelsea and they won the title. We heard complaints from England that the title is not to be bought, it must be won and all of that rubbish. Yeah. And my point is, I'm a Man U fan and make no bones about it. Man U for life. Yeah? Happy when Man U wins. However, I want to see competitive football. This thing where you get up and you write down 3 points before the game is even played is rubbish to me. I love competitive football. I love entertaining football. And if it is that people can come now and buy teams, buy out the smaller teams, and use their money to influence these teams to make the top flight and make the team more competitive, then
football better.
Of course, but of course.
And at that stage, it wouldn't be about football. It would be about money. Who has the most money?
Yeah, but then the thing about it, despite the money being able to buy players and buy the best facilities and the best resources and provide the best resources, the players still have to go out there and play for 90 minutes and win.
Yeah.
You understand me? And if it's money against money, for 90 minutes, what you're going to see, you have to see skill. Because, I mean, if you could get 10 misses and you have 10 beanies, because we know beanie play football, and the 10 misses don't play accordingly, and the 10 beanies win, then it is advantage beanie. It's as simple as that.
It's happening.
Yeah, and we're happy for that. And all right, we're going to push the discussion. I need to ask this question, gentlemen. Do you think that Jamaica's soccer, Jamaica's football, has grown as it should between the heights of 94 to 98 to now, in terms not just at the national level, but locally? Do you think the general soccer has grown? We'll start with you, Beanie.
Yeah, I think it has. But to the level where I would have wanted it, no.
And why you think?
It's there's no panacea. There's no one factor. It's a multiplicity of factors. You know, for me, coaching is still the bane of our problems. And even though we have gone a far way in correcting that with the JMMB program, I'm still not seeing the manifestation on the pitch.
Yeah.
The bad fields are there. But regardless, I want to see the players thinking the football on the pitch, playing as if they know what they're doing, and I'm still not getting that.
Yeah.
And that is not so much money for me. But there's now a coaching school for what, 5 years?
Yeah, about 5 years.
5 years. And I'm still not. It has improved, you know. Don't get me wrong. It has improved, and a lot of money now in football. Where 10 years ago, 94, 98 campaign, that it wasn't around. But still we want to see more. I think we should have achieved far more in terms of the number of players that we produce for the MLS here, for Scandinavia, for Europe. When last have we sent a player to England, for argument's sake? We haven't in a long while.
Well, we haven't had really had locals play.
Whilst there are improvements at certain levels, there are still deficits in our areas, you know. So
Earl?
it's a multi.
Yeah, I concur with that. It goes back also to economics. Their fields have been bad as well. Just water in the fields, thousands of dollars per month to keep the fields watered. And you know, in Jamaica we have sometimes some long droughts, because the quality of the field, it's almost impossible to play good football on those fields that we have. And because of in terms of the economics. I mean, the economy as well over the years, the government can't really come in and help. They don't come in and help. It's really the guys who own the field, or should I say, control the field, who does that. So we're having football being played on dry, arid areas with stones and patchy fields and so forth. When you play football on those, then no matter how hard you try, you can't control the way you want to control. You can't pass the way you want to pass.
You just can't play pure football.
Exactly. Until that year, I think, although the coaching is improving, and it will take a little time for the coaches to really understand the schemes and the players to understand and so forth. I think over time they will. If the fields don't improve, I don't think we're going to improve much.
Well, I have two questions. I know we're on time, but I have two questions. Well, first of all, I make this comment that I personally believe that soccer in Jamaica is suffering from a lack of Captain Horace Burrells. In other words, the vision, the willingness to step out and do something different. Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to point any one finger at anybody, but I can think of a particular FA president, yeah, who happens to be a very good friend of mine, and I tell him all the time, I say, listen, you lack the innovation to actually move the soccer forward. One thing I love about him, he ensures it's played, and that is brilliant. But that cutting edge, that something different from season to season, I think is lacking on until, I mean, I remember 94 to 98, the critics of Captain Burrell, and I sat back and I think, and some of these people now are still parading around, and I mean, yeah, I might as well, you know, they parade around as experts, and I often ask, expert in what? because it's okay for you to see the negative side of something, but you know, if you really want to improve on it and you really want to do something for it, let's accentuate the positives. Yeah? Captain showed us something where all the pundits said no and all the naysayers said no, you build from the ground up. He showed us that building from the top down is possible and workable and sometimes your best option. I just think that those who were at the other end of the spectrum, who should have actually come up and meet him up there, are not there. And when I hear people say Captain has not improved football and the football no move because of Captain, you know, I kind of shut off right there because I don't want to hear no more from you after that. If you understand where I'm coming from.
For me, it's either fact or fiction. You know, you can look at the number of players we have in the MLS right now. ASL, you know, a number of guys now are earning serious money, good living
out of that particular campaign.
When I was 20, football wasn't a viable option for me. No, had I been 20 now,
we had different ball
I would be here. Well, you'd be interviewing me as a star player. You know?
Well, you're still a star. You're still a star of sorts because I mean, and I need to tell the people that Burnett is a very, very good soccer player, football. If you're Jamaican, because I have played with him. I mean, I've never had to suffer the ignominy of playing against him, and I'm very happy for that. You know, I've actually played with him back in Jamaica, and yes, he's a good player. But here's the other question I want to ask, gentlemen, before we get out of here. When is it that we will see, in the same way that we're exporting players, when will we start to export coaches?
That as being pointed out not too long ago, we are yet to see coaching to that level where the coach can actually. You see what the coach is doing on the field, and you can sit out there and understand what's going on out there. Until, for example, when you see the South American coaches, the coaches from Argentina who like as a coaching school, they are all over the place. When you see them work, you can see things happening right in front of your eyes. Until our local coaches reach a stage where you can see things happening in front of your eyes and the football is being developed in front of your eyes, moving from stage to stage. I doubt that we're going to find a lot of coaches being exported.
And if I might add, in discussions like these, I rarely attend because I can only say it how I see it. Yep. I can't say what you want to hear. I have to say what I believe in.
I appreciate that because that's exactly the way I am too.
We are certainly at the top rung at the Caribbean level.
Yep.
And I've said to myself, we have a lot of experts. You made mention of them earlier. Experts. They are critical of the coaches. Yeah, critical of our coaches. And I'm saying, at any one given time, there can only be one head coach. Now, if I'm that good, I'm going to try and go and help a little Montserrat or a Cayman, or there are so many other countries behind us, below us. Why shouldn't I be able, if I'm that good, to help them out? Carl Brown did it with Cayman. He's doing very well now in South Florida at the school level and at the club level. You want to see more. Yeah, if you're good, export. Go out.
You know, yesterday I had a chat with CJ Brown, former Chicago Fire and former MLS coach, assistant coach rather. He's now at Aurora Borealis out in Aurora here. We do a program with them, I was telling you earlier. And we were speaking about when you're in Jamaica, people in Jamaica tend to see MLS, BPL, La Liga, but nobody, for some reason, they don't see what lies between. So all of a sudden, everybody think that if you're going to be overseas or you're going to be someplace else, you have to be somewhere up there, which is basically a farce. Because if you understand the channel and what it takes to get there, and I'm saying, as you just mentioned it, even not in the Caribbean. I mean, right around the world, right here in the USA, there are so many smaller league clubs. I mean, Aurora plays in the Premier League of America. It's only 10 teams, 10 games, but it's a big deal. Because if you can have a CJ Brown coaching in there, it means it's a big deal. And enough of these clubs are well-established clubs. If you can come to a league like this and establish yourself, then to me, you would have proven that the JMB school is actually working. So, you know, we wonder if it's a case of people just thinking that if you can't make it all the way up here like some players think, or, you know, just getting out of there, just getting out of your comfort zone.
If we were to use an analogy, look at the cricket, for example. We have a number of guys playing in the IPL, the Big Bash, you name it. And they all can't play for the West Indies.
Exactly.
But they're earning.
They're earning.
Track and field, a number of guys on the circuit earning good money. They all
so
won't make
can-
it for the Olympic team, but that's a way of life. It's a
Exactly.
livelihood. Go there and make your money.
Yeah.
And live.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen, it's 4 minutes after 3. I know you're on a tight timeline. So we're going to wrap this up. I want to say thanks to you both for having been here. It has been both a pleasure and an honor. And it's kind of interesting. No, I won't use that particular analogy. I won't use that particular analogy, but for some reason, I don't know, I never get a chance to interview in Jamaica. I have to come all the way to Chicago to make it happen.
Nothing happens before the time, Courtney.
There's always a first.
Yes.
And one of the reasons, I want listeners to understand, one of the reasons why we're here is because we respect you.
Yeah.
Because we love you. Me and Beanie. If it weren't so, we would not be here. And you're a good guy, a fantastic person, and I'm sure the listeners over time will understand. I mean, as I said, the only reason why we're here, my brethren, is because you're a good person.
Somebody bring me a napkin or tissue. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, coming from you. Well, I mean, we're colleagues, and and of course, you're a senior journalist to me. And I've always, lifted my hats to you fellas. I've always, Earl, you yourself, you're a talk show host. Yep. You're a very acclaimed journalist yourself. And I can only say, thanks a million for being here, and continue the good work. Like I said, Beanie, I'm sure you'll concur with this and you agree with me. The work that Earl does as a press officer since last year, Copa America, through to this I just checked my phone a while ago, and Earl is sitting in front of me, and I have pictures from him of Joel Grant, who just came into camp this morning. Yeah, and who else does that?
Yeah.
We have PR agencies in Jamaica, and we don't get this kind of service from them. Earl, I have to shake your hand,
Virgin.
I was streaming live, so everybody saw that. Yeah, so once again, thanks for coming in. Keep up the good work. Want to wish the team all the best, not just for Sunday, but also for the rest of the Copa Centenario, and of course heading into World Cup, because I really want to see this team move forward. I think it's about time we make another trip to the World Cup. I think we deserve it.
Yeah.
We've done enough, and I respect Coach Schaefer. Not only because he's German, but I think he's a good coach. I think he has a good philosophy, and I'd love to see it come to fruition.
Yep. We'd love to see that as well.
Yeah. So once again, thanks for coming. All the best on your sojourns, gentlemen. And right now, I'm gonna try to get you out of here as quick as it's possible, so you can get back to your duties.
The best music you've never heard. Powered by the Be On Air Network. TheEdgeOnAir.com.
The hits of the future on Chicago's unsigned music station, The Edge.